Okay. Um, so it's just interesting how throughout my day it was just a lot of manipulation. One thing I've learned and something that I've understood is as a target individual, the reality is changed in so many ways. And I think I get more validations without not purposely done. Um, so, like I said, target individual will get PSYOPs, right? They try, and what I mean PSYOP is facades. You hear different type of people saying that, oh, I'm being, the people involved in my torture are these people, this people is the Russian mafia, is the Russian government, is the Chinese government, is like like all kind of different people talking about different ways of like this the group of people doing this to me, and that's what they do, right? It's obvious that this is obviously a governmental entity running this. uh, Obviously they contract civilians, but this program is run by the government because of this type of wealth. It's not just a entity that is a like it's just too much. It's too much funding resources that is absolutely 100% governmental. And I'm thankful for people like Robin Duncan because he is able to kind of make it clear. And when he was talking about in his interview, I forgot which podcast, he called out that a lot of target individual. We all say that this group of people are doing this thing to me. The next door neighbors are doing this thing to me. These entities are doing this to me. Everybody but the government, when it's obvious. So for me, thankfully, I knew the government had some affiliation because even though I know who put me in this program, I know that my employer has very strong ties with the government. And I remember before, now looking back, I understand what this person was saying. A coworker of mine just like looking at me is like, "Hey, I know the CIA," and just like randomly saying that. And all I asked was like, "Hey, well, like you got what kind of?" Because he's a very like square kind of guy. He's young, but he was like just worked on his house. I was like, "What do you do during the weekend?" Sounds like a little boring. You're just like 25 years old. And he looks at me, he's like, "I know the CIA." And I was like, "Okay, what does that have to do with what you do for fun?" Like he had no point of nothing. Like you just imagine like you ask me, "Hey, what do you do for fun?" "I know the CIA." And you're like, "Okay, what does it have to do with you? You're not in the CIA, so what do you tell me?" So looking back, basically now, because I know I'm in this program, I know what this program is about. He was just letting me know that he knows what I mean now. At the time, didn't get it. Thought, okay, well, it was kind of weird. Like, what CIA? And I'm like, what should I even? I don't know if were you trying to scare me? What would the CIA care about me, anyways? So, like, I didn't care. Like, it was just so weird. Looking back now, it's just like, okay. He was just telling me that I was put in this program where this CIA-like entity is running the show. So now, when this thing started, I'm like, that's what's going on. But I thought, my employer obviously has some tie with this like entities, intelligence community, people in the government, and it was just something that like, oh, do this thing to him because we want to get rid of him. I didn't know it was like a bigger thing. And then realizing that they just put me in a program where they're torturing people all around the world in different ways, and this is the same program that all these people are tortured, but they have different ways of painting this facade, right? They have the facade of this person is this they would do, like, that this is a trafficking thing, this is when in reality it's part of this program where they're developing a technology where the human being is a subject that's needed to advance this technology. It's like any machine learning technology. You need human beings as a subject to continuously to improve that. It's obvious. And I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this interview with Mariana. Was actually, I'm so thankful that I see her. I thought she, they would tell me she was dead, which is, a while ago. I don't know if it's true, but I'm glad that she's not, because thanks to her, I kind of saw things in. She made me understand that what I'm experiencing is not something that I'm experiencing alone. She was talking about everything I was going through. And she was talking about the pedophilia type of torture, how they manipulate her libido, how they manipulate her dreams, how they do all of these things, and the advancement and sophistication of it, what's happening to her. And so in her interview, she's talking to this woman, and she says she knows she's in a governmental human experimentation, but she thinks that others are not, some are not, because there's so many random people from all around the world. And, some people saying, for example, she was saying that this woman that she knows, she's saying that her and her son are being tortured by this technology from her ex-employer, right? Now, I could think the same way, right? And, my ex-employer put me in this program. I know that's when everything started. But she also said that, there's different people, and it's like there's so many random people. But, like, now, for me, it's like it makes more sense. In order to advance this technology, you need samples from everywhere. You need all kinds of people from all around the world. You need children, you need men, you need women to continuously improve this technology, so this technology improve. You cannot get the same kind of people all the time. You need a different sample of people. You need a woman, you need a child, you need to continuously improve this technology, because we're all different. And for this technology to be better, you need to be, it's just typical machine learning technology, where you get more and more and more samples from different people. Your technology gets better and better and better. You need people from this culture, you want these people like that, men, women, children. Yeah. And they use the same tactics on all of them and see the result on all of them. And tweak things to improve these things. This is reality. I'm not, at this point, that PSYOP is disappear. I see them as the facade that they are. They're in the same program that are here killing and torturing women. With me, they're like, no, we're different. We don't do this. Yes, we do. Matter of fact, they do the PSYOP, and Mariana called out, like, there's a group of people in San Francisco, gay men, that say that in their torment, there's a woman insulting them, degrading them, and using gay slurs. Now, do I think there's a group of people who are just like hate criming and then spending so much to insult? I know this better than that. There's something bigger than that. I understand that this is a tactic to degrade somebody. It's part of how they degrade people. They insult them in all kinds of nastiness. You hear a lot of the pedophilia things. This is what they do. A lot of target individuals say these things. And you hear these things systematically. Degrade somebody. Make them be something or experience things that they don't experience naturally. And try to make them accept these things. It's so obvious that this is a human experimentation program. But they are trying to create PSYOPs to make it seem like something else, some other, it's obvious. And they need as many people as possible. If a machine learning technology, the more samples it gets, the more individual, more subject, the better it's going to get. And if the subjects are different, even better. The more different type of people around the world, the better. And they use the same tactics on all the different people. I'm getting some of the most sophisticated, like Mariana. So I guess for me, it's for sure government. But I'm getting the top of the, like, really, like, all the mind games, the trauma. Like, I guess, like, Mariana is experiencing the lungs restriction, the bones, the knee, the mental game, the suffocations, the dreams, I'm getting, like, I guess for sure for me it's the government. But I think everybody's the government. Because this kind of funding and experience is not... It's no, like, mafia or people, let me spend millions of dollars on just tormenting. No. What kind of crime organization is going to do that? Just to spend? No. It's the part of the program. and they contract civilians to implement these things. So I see them for truly what they are. And for me, my PSYOPs wanted to play this like group of progressive, femme fatale, feminist group. And the funny thing is, I know who put me in this program. I have no doubt. The reason why I'm in this program is because my employer put me in this program. My employer have very strong ties with these governmental entities. This is why this guy was bragging about how he know the CIA when I didn't even ask anything about the CIA. He just randomly brought that up. So for me, when I see this woman coming up with this fantasy, I'm like, it's like this when she was saying, Mariana saying like there's this this man in San Francisco, this gay man that he said there's this woman in their head just degrading them, insulting them, using gay slur. They find ways to just degrade you. I'm sure they probably get the pedophilia. They probably be called pedophiles too. That's the things that they do. They try to degrade you in every way possible. What's gonna break you down? Well, pedophiles gonna. But the funny thing with me is just like the awkwardness of everything else, because this entity is running these programs. We know CIA is involved. For me, unfortunately, somebody was bragging about how like he knew CIA from some random reason. Before I knew what I was in, he was telling me like, "Oh, I know CIA." I was like, "Well, okay, what does he have to do with me?" Like, I don't know if it was trying to like scare me. It's like, why would CIA even care about me? So now I'm like, okay, these entities are fellow pedophiles. They let them in, and they do this pedophilia type of torture, and they do like, just come on, it's just too obvious. And then this woman say, oh, they do these things where they traffic them, they use them for like, listen, if they rape, torture, the rape torture are done for the breaking down of the person. It's part of the torture. It's part of breaking down the target individual. It's disgusting to think, but this is a tactic it's like a systematic way to break somebody down. The rapes are for the purpose of this program. That's how nasty it is. It's about how breaking down, so when you get raped like that and tortured like that, it's part of getting the result they want. That's why you hear a lot of sexual torture. Some of them don't actually have people there. The technology is that sophisticated. Mariana talks about it herself. People are just not spending dedicate so much time just for the passion of it. No. And at this point, it's just like I get more validations, because one thing Robin Dawkins said is he called that out in his you should watch this podcast, because they had this person, and he just obviously said that it's obvious this is the government, right? And he's like, I talked to so many different target individuals. Somebody says this, somebody says that, somebody says that, is that, but everything but this large government. But that's what they do. They create these PSYOPs. Somebody thinks it's the next door neighbor, the Xbox, this kid from But then he goes like, these tactics they do are so CIA-like tactics, repetitions to break somebody down, try to torment them. This is like textbook CIA tactics. So they are overseeing these things. And so the PSYOPs and everything else, who knows how to do the PSYOPs? What entities have learned to create facades? I have no doubt. For me, for sure, the government entities are running this. For me, I don't have doubts. It's just like for sure. But I think all the target individuals have all governmental participations. And they're creating PSYOPs for each person to make them think that it's something else but the government involved in this. And that's what Robin Dawkins said, and it's obvious. It's not, how can a next door neighbor, what? And it's like, oh, we have this. Do you think the government will let a random citizen think about just regular firearms, right? So you think that civilians would have access of this kind of technology, and the government has nothing to say about that? In this country, you can't, like, firearms, like pistols that shoot bullets. There's regulations on that. So you think technology that can burn you, radiate you remotely, and can manipulate you and make you experience all these things, the government's just gonna be like, oh yeah, you can have one too, you can, just clowns. Of course not. The black market, wait, what? You think, I mean, like, it's really underestimate, like, it's obvious. I'm sorry, I don't want to target individuals who think otherwise. Please, I don't mean to insult you, but we have to accept the reality of things. No mafia can do these things. You think mafia have hundreds of $1 millions to spend on you? To make somebody honk that like, it's obvious the government, and this is a global, so these governmental entities are globally like connecting each other and working together to participate in this program. I see these people next door. You think I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, you and your group. No, I know. Me today, tomorrow you'll be another person. You get your money. The way you get your money, you come up with a new PSYOP. You find ways to try to vilify somebody. And we know the Department of Defense is obviously involved. And this ways to try to distract and disorient people is just a tactic, which has been called up on, thankfully, by Robin Duncan. But I'm to try to think that anybody else, to think that the government of this governmental entities, the CIA, the DODs, the DARPA are not involved, is like as delusional as we get. And why, the question people will say, why would they do this to like housewives and do this? Like, oh, it's very, very simple, actually. You have a technology that you want to continuously teach and train to become better. This technology gets better every time it's utilizing somebody. You want to master everybody. You want a housewife there, a businessman there, a soldier there, somebody working in a corporate house, a child, a baby, all of that to improve this technology. And it's going to have to grow and grow and grow it to become better and better. For me, it's just that I understand that very much, and I understand the reality of that. So I understand when they say, oh, it's our courts. Yes, it's the government running these things. I know what this is really. I don't think it's just a femme fatale group of feminists. It's like, please, you see how they torture so many women. Oh my gosh, they destroy them. And a lot of women are literally calling out. There's a lot of women doing this. There's voices of women. I'm hearing a lot of women. When this person calls out, what's the name? When Mariana talks about this group of gay guys who here in San Francisco, one of the most liberal places, and he calls out this woman who just insult them, calling them gays and stuff like that in San Francisco. Do you think it's just like, oh, this hateful gay bashing woman that's like going, like, of course it's just a PSYOP. Just like I see them for what these people are. The level of illogicalness these people have shown me, have proven to me that they're so fraudulent. Watch one of my videos and listen to some of the illogicalness. There was a video I made earlier about how they're trying to create this rewiring my memories, and you know how guys, when we're comfortable, we like to put our hands in our pants. It's just like something, and I literally they were trying to make me think. Oh, you see, have you ever done that? And then there's some like when you watch TV and movies, there's maybe a kid or something, right? And so you see that's probably caught you, knowing damn well that subconsciously most guys when they want to feel comfortable they like to put their hands in their in their pants. It's like a comfort thing. Just there. It's nothing sexual. It's nothing. It's just like a chill thing, and whatever's happening is happening. But they're just like, it's just. But they're like, oh, we caught you there. Do I think they don't know that? Of course, I know they know that. But you understand how they can try to create these false narratives? Just like they can create the word this fan fatal, payback for this what you did today, we're here to revenge. If anything, if I didn't know any better, I would think that this company who put me in this program, it's them. This employer of mine follow me just like so many others. Yes, the employee put me in this program, but after that, whoop, it's over. He's like, hey, they have connection with the CIA and all these entities. It's like put it in the program. That's it. The rest is done. So do I think the employer right now is like following me? No, I don't. I was put in the program. Whatever, they're gonna create a PSYOP. They're gonna take care. They're gonna do the thing that they need people. So we throw him in. I don't think right now my ex-employer is there, though, like watching me. I mean, he might be watching me, but he's not like the ones like, hey, man, make sure this thing. No, he was his job was done when he put me in the program. That was it. He was like, here, now you can start the thing. But if I didn't know any better, I'd be like, oh my gosh, my employer still trying to. He's probably at this point, if he wants to, he can live his life and never have to worry about me in regard of like it's over. Because I know for sure they're the one who put me in this program. But I know right now they have nothing to do with what's happening to me. But they're the reason why I'm here. I understand reality. So whatever's gonna happen to me, I don't think this community watches think that I'm a danger. No, their job is to break me down. They know what to do. They're gonna manipulate me in disgusting ways, and they're gonna try to make me subscribe. It's you. We proved it. So, please, target individual. Yes, civilian are contracted. Entities that aren't governmental are involved. Of course, corporates are probably contracted too. But that's because government is contracting them to do what they do. The government is the biggest contractor. They can contract. They don't have to make them. They don't have to dirty them. They contract people to do this. Do you think they don't? This technology is so sophisticated. They can contract a child to be involved. So yes, what you see are civilians, maybe even non-governmental people, but they are contracted by governmental entities to do what they're doing to you. How do you know? How do you think they know these tactics of repetition and scripts? Because they go through what the protocols of these governmental entities make sure that they go through. There's a system that these governmental entities have put together and they follow them. I've understood that. But to think that the people who are not running the show are not governmental entities like the CIA and the DOD and DARPA? Never. And so I know. So whatever's going to happen to me, I understand the government has done that to me. But I know who put me in this program. And this governmental entity is doing that to women, children, and men all around the world. And these government entities have done some horrible things. And the same governmental entities are those governmental entities that you see in this BuzzFeed article that calls out why are they letting so many pedophiles in these entities. So to all my target individual, stay strong and understand that don't fall for the PSYOP. Do not fall for what you're seeing in front of you. Just understand reality. I know it's hard to believe that your government will be involved in that, but come on, they've been doing this for a long time. And understand, look at it in this like scientific way. You have a technology. Your technology can improve if it gets a lot more samples, more subjects. The more brain signatures and the result of this manipulation, they can better improve it, so they can fit for all kind of different people. It gets better the more it's used on people, on different people. You can have the same people and do the same thing, the same people. You need a nice sample of people, all kind of people, all races, all gender, all. And that's why you hear like, oh, people are now, yeah. They could not only do that to only women. What's the purpose? What would they like, create a weapon that only destroy women? They want a weapon that can manipulate all humans. So they're going to try to test that on all human. Women, men, and children. All races. All backgrounds. That's why you see all kind of people. A mother with her children. Of course, it's very cold-hearted, but that's how they see it. Oh my gosh, we get 2 for what? Let me see, and the child and teen. He's a teenager kid. Look at this. Let's see this teenage kid, how he's surviving. How pure scientific. They don't like they're not human. They dehumanize as target individuals. They have children and all, but when they'll torture the child and go back and be the great parents. I understand this. I got it. And find ways to cope. We are at war. They're not at war. They understand their duty, their assignment. Your assignment is to do these things so we can continuously improve this technology. I'm not a genius, but once you understand, it's like, for example, there's this what is it? Like when you know this like face recognition technology, right? They want to get as many samples of faces all around the world, all kind of races, all kind of gender, all kind of, so they can, this technology gets better. I recognize his face. I see, just like, get used to all kind of face structures. People from this side of the world, this side, the more the technology gets better and better and better and better and better and better. What if they only did that to Chinese people? They only know how to recognize Chinese faces, but they want some African faces. That's why you hear all kind of different people. So to all my target individual, please, yes, I understand it's easy to be fooled by what we're seeing, but it's obviously governmental entities doing these things to us, no matter who we're seeing. Whoever they've contracted to implement these things is who they are, just contracted trash. That's why I see them as. The same contracted trash will do more to somebody else, create a different PSYOP. So stay strong, and know that justice will be done.